You never realize the progress you've made because you keep raising the bar. But if you actually look back on the progress and backtrack of all the things that you've done, you start to see how far you've actually progressed when you're actually locked in. Because on a day-to-day basis, you don't really notice the micro things that are pushing the needle forward and bettering your life. And so when I think about a couple years back, or like even a couple months back, or a couple weeks back even, I've actually made like pretty significant progress. In February, I was working a job I didn't like doing. I was trying to make it. I was trying to do a bunch of different business models and it wasn't really working. And what I really had to do is I had to fucking just cut out everything. I always talk about this. I always talk about how I had to lock in on one thing, but it's really true. I really had to just put everything aside, everything that was comfortable to me, like hanging out with my friends and going out every day and making content, even like acting and just like doing stuff that I enjoyed doing. I had to look at it and be like, is it making me money? But like at the same time, it was building towards something. Not necessarily about is it making me money, but is it building towards something that's going to become a bigger asset like my personal brand. And at the same time, it's also about, is it making me money? Is what I'm doing being able to sustain myself and survive? And so I think the biggest thing that I had to realize was like, how am I putting bread on the table? How am I actually generating money and income? What am I actually going to do? Because I didn't finish college. I didn't finish post-secondary. Like I graduated high school. I was going to school. I wasn't going to school to get a degree, to get a job. I was going to school for knowledge and networking, which isn't going to make you money. And so I had to realize and think about like, how the hell am I going to make money? I was working at a part-time job. I was making pizza every day, and not even every day, bro. I was working a part-time job, making videos on the side, and I had to look at my life and I thought I was doing really well because, oh, I'm making videos every week or I'm doing this and that. But I had to take a step back and actually look at the whole progress of all this time that I've been doing the same thing and thinking that I'm going to get somewhere. Because I'll tell you this, I've said it once, I'll say it again. The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing every single day and expecting that you're going to get a different result. And so I had to step back and I realized, I'm like, this isn't progressing to anything. What is the end goal here? I'm just in a loop. I'm in a fucking hamster wheel going up and around, left and right, running around in circles, chasing my tail off and making okay money. And fuck, man, like it really just took locking in and figuring out, okay, there's different business models out here. I just need to choose one. And I decided, okay, there's leverage to like different business models, right? What is one that I can do with the least amount of friction? And that was personal branding and that was sales, because all you gotta do is learn a skill and fucking apply yourself and work hard every day. And I had to learn that skill by like, I worked for this one company and I wasn't getting paid. I was on performance. I was working 9 to 5 Eastern time because I'm in Vancouver, so I was working 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. going hard every fucking day for 6 days out of the week, learning how to sell and learning sales and getting a bit of mentorship, but learning how to recruit, learning how to do appointment setting, learning how to close. I was doing all these things. I completely put everything else aside. I quit my job. I was making absolutely no money because I wasn't getting any sales. I wasn't even a sales rep in this company. And I learned all these skills and I really had to put my back against the wall and say, fuck it, this is what I'm doing. Like I have to do it to actually acquire the skills that's going to allow me to make more money in the future. And oh my fuck, it was fucking horrible, bro, because I was just relying on like maybe cutting hair to make some money. I feel like I'm spoiled as fuck for saying this because I was living at home, but I felt like a bum, okay? Like I felt like a bum making no money. My brother was making more money than me. All my friends were making a lot more money than me. And like, I was just like, yo, what am I doing with my life? And it really took acquiring those skills, learning these high income skills and applying myself and actually taking risk. The number one skill that you can learn as a person, but as an entrepreneur, in order to be successful in life, is your risk tolerance and your appetite for taking risks. And I think that the more risks that you're willing to take and the more risks that like you get comfortable taking, because it never gets easier. Like I jumped off the fucking 40-foot drop today and it was fucking scary, but I still did it. But the more appetite that you get for taking risks just allows you to become more uncomfortable, but risk equals opportunity, right? So the more risks you take, the more doors you open. So if you get used to taking risks and used to betting on yourself and understand that, yo, I can really control my life. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And that's what I did. And then I was able to figure out how I want to sell my own offer, how I want to build my own content, how I can network between different people that I know, because I know one person who might know another person who can get me an opportunity. And so by doing all these things and putting myself out there and not being afraid to fail and not being afraid to put my face out there and build a personal brand that was valuable and that positioned myself as an authority, really just boosted all of my opportunities. And it gave gave me so many available doors to open or risks to take. And so I just took every risk, I took every opportunity, and every opportunity might not have opened the right door. There might have been a dead end out there, but at least I opened the door and I learned from it. And so your success in business is reliant on how willing you are to take the risk and open the doors and take the jump and go all in on the thing that you believe in. And that's exactly how I was able to build my personal brand and build out an offer and then get on a different offer to sell for other guys who are like doing really well in the space, get a chunk of the pie, and everything that has accumulated and built me skills and risk tolerance. And only 4 months ago, I was working at the pizza shop. I was just making pizza every day. And so people say, yeah, you gotta lock in a year, it takes 10 years to build something, and it's true. But to actually change your complete environment and your domain and the things that you do and the way that you make money, I'm not even lying, it takes fucking 3 months. If you go every single day and you don't give up, it will take 3 months of your life, 90 days to actually lock in. If you actually do it the right way, if you actually find a vehicle of leverage that's going to allow you to make a certain amount of money where you can leave your 9-to-5 job, that's the way you're actually going to be able to change your life, your complete entire domain. And that's what I did, man. And fuck, it was so fucking hard because it was embarrassing, man. My girlfriend was helping me pay for dinners when I'd take her out on a date. My parents were asking me, what the hell am I doing in my room? Why am I not working as much? What are you doing? It felt like I was getting nowhere in my life, and I felt like this sense of fucking, yeah, I was vulnerable, but I just believed in myself so much. And like some of the people closest to me, they believed in me and stuff, but they don't ever see the vision that you see. Even the people that are as close to you, like they support you, but they don't actually see the vision. You have to be so crystal clear, and you have to be fucking delusional about the things that you actually want to achieve, because you have to see it up in your mind before anyone else does. That's the only way you can make things into a tangible reality. And that's like what I had to do, and it was fucking hard, man. Like thinking about it, I just remember like being up all night, like thinking, fuck, I have to work, or I don't know how I'm gonna make my next dollar. It was fucking hard. And like looking at my bank account, I had $200 in my fucking bank account, man. I had to pull out savings. I'm not saying I was sleeping on the fucking park bench. I'm so grateful that I wasn't, but it really tested my mentality of being like, okay, like I actually have no money right now. I went balls to the wall. I invested in myself. I have no money. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna make it out of here. And like it was embarrassing as fuck. I'm like, my girl's paying for shit. I had to split things with my girl, and God bless her. But fuck, man, going through that shit was just like so fucking hard and difficult. And I really think that's what builds character, and that's honestly what's built my character. And that's why I have fucking conviction in the things that I talk about, because I actually went through that shit. And like everyone goes through a struggle. Everyone's struggle is different, and your struggle is gonna be a lot different than my struggle, but everyone goes through a struggle. Everyone still feels these feelings. So it's about like really pushing through and making it out on the other end, because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you just trust the process, and if you just work every single day and believe that the work that you're putting in today is going to build the future that you are dreaming of tomorrow, that's all that you can really do, and trust the process. And one day you're just going to look back at all of the progress that you've made, and then you're going to be like, damn, I actually made it pretty far, and I actually done something with my life. And that's how I'm feeling now. And even though like I've made some money with my online business, I've actually built a nice personal brand, which I've always dreamed of doing, I'll look back and I'm proud on that. But I always have things that I'm striving for. I'm always thinking, damn, I want to make more money. I want to sign more clients. There's always going to be the next thing. The man who wants to fucking run, like the man who is walking always wants to run. The man who is running wants to drive a car. The guy who's driving a car wants to drive a boat. The guy in the boat wants to drive a plane, you know, the guy in the plane wants to go to the moon. Like there's always a next step. So it's just about being content and being grateful for how far you've come and the position that you're in, and being grateful for that. When you look back at the progress of things and like what you're actually doing, like we were going out and making short films for YouTube, and it's really cool to look back on that stuff, especially like down the line when I'm like 30 years old and I'm like, hey, I was doing this when I was like 21, 22. This is really cool stuff. But it really goes to show, damn, like in a year's time, you can really do so much shit. Like we went to Miami, I went to Dubai, I went to so many different places, and we were filming. It's the same mentality, it's the same ideas, this is different scenarios and just better skills. And I think the mindset always remains the same. It's just about how well you get and how better you get at your skills when you're creating content and you're just like going to different places. And I remember just like trying to cast people for a short film and like making films that were funny, and even doing it with like friends from high school, and just doing it for the love of the game. That's honestly the North Star. I think doing something for the love of it and the love of the game makes the best kind of work and the best kind of output that you can actually put into something. And so I try to look at that in every area of my life, no matter if I am at a family dinner, if I'm talking to people, if I am making content in every area, I try to just be completely free from anything else that's not related to whatever the task is at hand, and just appreciate the moment. And I think that's what life is about, just appreciating the moment and really giving it your all whenever you're doing anything. We've done a lot of cool stuff. Like we went back to a place where we filmed today, and we were cliff jumping and we were filming in the water. Like Dom was in the water filming me and our other friend Benji. We were acting and stuff, so it's really cool to look back on that stuff. And in the future, I really did plan to just build my own business to make a sustainable income and work online so that I can sustain myself, so that I'm not working a dead-end job that I hate. But I really wanted to build this business so that I could have freedom to actually be more of a creator and to actually have a lifestyle where I can do all these things that I wanted to do and do all of the cool videos and make like films. Yeah, my goal is to make a movie, and like I want to make a movie about like my life and about different lives that other people live, and like just be a storyteller and continue to be on camera, continue to educate, continue to just be an inspiration. But my ideal goal is to just be a storyteller, and I think that's a really cool pursuit and a mission to go after, because storytelling is one of those things that like attracts any type of person, no matter what demographic they are. If you can learn that skill, and if you can get that attention and get the eyes on someone, get the eyes from someone to look at the thing that you're building, the thing that you made, your piece of art, I think that's like an amazing thing. And I think that's what me and Dom have been working on over the years. And Dom's building his media company, and I'm building my consulting business, and there's a lot of different things that all relate into that one thing, but it all ties together with storytelling and doing it for the passion and for the love of the game. It's really cool to see the progress of me and my best friends over the years, because you can actually pinpoint the progress and you can see the little wins that stack up and make big wins over an extended period of time. I don't know, I'm really proud of Dom, I'm really proud of the people I've met, but more importantly, I'm really proud of myself. Sometimes I may think that I'm being a little bit selfish, but I think it's important to be selfish and to give yourself a pat on the back, because that's the only thing that you have at the end of the day. And if you're always raising the bar, you're never going to be satisfied and content with the stuff that you're doing. So that's what it's about. It's about looking back and appreciating the moment and always striving to become a better version of yourself every day. Yeah. And
amen.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of other stories of things that we were doing or from the past, or I don't know. It's been a crazy journey, man. It's just been work, chill, and have a good time, but continue to work. It's not about thinking. It's about doing. It's about not thinking about it too much. It really is about not thinking too hard about things and making decisions by sleeping on it. And it's like one of those things that you use as an analogy when you're handling the think about it objection, because at the end of the day, the best decision you will ever make is the decision you make when you bet on yourself and when you actually take a risk, because clarity comes from commitment, right? And it doesn't come from thinking about things. And if I was just standing at the edge of the cliff today and like thinking, I don't know what's gonna be like to jump, but you just jump and you figure it out as you go. Like you figure out your landing and you figure out how to hit the water, and you're always going to land on your feet no matter what. Even if I fucking broke my back or dislocated my shoulder when I landed in the water, like I still would land on my feet. I'd still figure it out. Hopefully I wouldn't die and drown, but that's beside the point. So I would just tell my younger self this. I would tell younger Michael to just stop thinking about things and just commit, take a risk, and get uncomfortable sooner. And I know there's so many people out there who are older than me and a lot older and more mature that don't have that risk appetite. So many people are just so content with what they have and the things that they're doing, the money they're making, and like that's one way to live your life. But if you actually want to achieve the things that you've dreamed about and live the life that you see on IG Reels and like take your girl to fucking crazy vacations and stuff, you gotta have a risk appetite. You gotta be willing to bet on yourself and just put everything on the floor, put it all on red. That's what I would say. I don't gamble though. My luck does not come from the casino. I've been to the casino like 3 times, and every single freaking time I've lost money. So my luck doesn't come from casinos or buying a lottery ticket. My luck comes from making my own luck and just becoming like a really valuable person, to position myself as an authority, to be able to network and become valuable so that I am a valuable person to be around. And that's the way I've built my luck and made my connections, I think. And that's all it really is. And since then, I've been able to meet so many 8-figure entrepreneurs, business owners who do well over $10 million a year in profit too. Like people who are like really crushing it, making way over 250K, $250,000 a month. Crazy people doing startups, like so many different types of people. The only way I've been able to do that is become valuable for myself. And I don't think it's about networking and going to events and being like, oh, I'm gonna have a glass of wine and connect with someone. No, it's about being an authority. It's about having something valuable that you can actually offer to other people when you come across them. You don't need to network. You just need to become valuable. You need to become an authority, and you need to have the mindset that people will come to you. That's the best type of lead. That's the best type of way to go about finding a girlfriend too. Have girls be attracted to you, become so valuable that you are desirable, right? And that's the way that you should go about any kind of aspect, whether it's girls, business, relationships, anything, finding friends. Just be a good person, have something valuable that you can offer to people, and you're just gonna be that guy. You're gonna be him. You're gonna be able to aura upon him. You're just gonna be like guys like Marlon. I don't know. Should I start streaming? I don't know. Should I, like, let me know in the comments if I need you to personally tell me if I should start streaming, because I've genuinely been considering it. Maybe I go for a walk, like some casual shit, like nothing too crazy, but like lifestyle live streaming and going to crazy things. And I will start doing it when I start traveling more this year, later down the line. But I don't know, business live stream might be a play. No one's ever done that, so
First one to do it.
I might be the first one to do it. Sales calls on a live stream, like live objection handling. No one does that. No one in the sales, high ticket sales space does that. So I might have to do it and show people that like, yo, I'm really doing this shit. I'm not just fucking clipping up the best objection handling scripts. I'd actually be down to do that. Show some like real game, like live stream a fucking sales call. I think with no edits, that's the real game. And that's when you can actually trust someone, if you can trust them on a live stream. So I might start live streaming. So too, I might put in my bio that I'm live streaming on Twitch or some shit. Yeah, I don't know. That could be a play. I feel like I can be on camera for a while. I feel like I can talk to the camera, but like it's draining though. You gotta be able to take breaks and you gotta be able to like fucking chill, you know? So yeah, man, kind of tired of talking now.